Still watching Beyond the Headlines. We're still reaching you from our studios in Enugu, because again, Enugu is the southeast Nigeria, probably known as the Cold City. And my guest is still Dr. Mrs. Like that. Keep saying, Doctor is my friend because of the PhD. Okay, that's the view I didn't like that mood. Doc, well, there's this issue of hidden fees. You know, in this country, no matter how government try to push policies, teachers have a way of circumventing it by what we call hidden fees. You say school is free. You say this is free. But sometimes that's not homework. Who will get 10 naira for homework? I see no, all manner of it called hidden fees. Are we going to see in these mass schools?
Okay.
And if it happens, what will be the consequence?
There's no space for that. There's not going to be any hidden fee because when we said green smart school, it means we're going to say environmental friendly. The wastes in those communities, the children use it for projects. So you don't expect any child to buy anything in terms of projects and assignments, where you can say the teacher will extract from the parents through the children, okay? So we expect that if you go to some of the ones we have already, you see they use the waste products, empty can, and to produce. Okay, so there's nothing like extortion, and there's no hidden fee because everything is free. It's free education for basic schools.
You know, we've always heard about free basic education, free that. But again, parents will still complain. So, well, if you said there won't be hidden fees, maybe in a month or 2 or 3 months, maybe we'll bring it back to this today to find whether there's any hidden fee anywhere.
We monitor our teachers, yes.
You monitor them?
Yes, and we have feedbacks from the schools.
Okay.
And from our parents, that's why we have the SBMC.
Okay.
School-based management committee.
You know that if you're a farmer, you need their cutlass, you need their hoe, you need their digger. In schools, you need their books. Now we are talking about smart. So where are the children going to get the books they're going to use in smart schools?
E-learning. You know they have these things in the library there.
Okay.
We have the e-library for them there. So they also have books. But we have e-library where we have most of those books, all the books they need, all the subject areas is already there in the they are giving tablets.
You know there's a problem. The federal government of Nigeria has just reversed this, what they call the revised curriculum.
Yes, but we are ahead.
Ahead of.
We are ahead. We had all those things.
No, I'm a publisher. We will not publish based on the new curriculum. What did you pick it from?
Not new curriculum, based on the subject areas that
yes,
they are meant to teach. So they have it already in smart school, the subject areas. We're talking about if they will have access to the books, right? I said it's already articulated in it's already in the e-library.
No, you people have to go back to it because they just released
the new one.
The new one. And
it's a new policy we need to apply.
Yes, and so whatever you have put into that e-tablet,
we'll have to look at it.
Yes, you have to review it. Because why else saying, where are you going to get the books from? They're not written. Like now, history is compulsory.
French.
Okay.
French.
Okay, so before that, most people are not reading history. But now, history is compulsory from primary school.
Funny enough, we have history in smart school.
That's
why I said we are ahead. I can read out what we have in our smart schools, all the subject areas. We had all these things articulated. We are ahead of, in fact, it looks as if they are following the footsteps. We are ahead of all this pronouncement and all these new policies. There's history in smart school. We have our teachers that are teaching history. Are you surprised? Are you shocked?
No, let's specify.
I can read it at the lower basic.
Where do you get history teachers?
I'm telling you, we have history teachers.
Not social studies, so.
We have history teachers. We have.
Where did they get from?
Let me tell you, you're looking at our regular teachers. No, you see what His Excellency did? He threw it open, the application for teachers to smart school, not just our regular teachers. If you're a regular teacher and you want to apply, you have the expertise, you have what it takes, you're trained in your subject area. We just brought out the subject area we need teachers. And we have people apply. We have even people that are not in our system, that are in private schools. They all applied. And we took from the best. We employed the best. That best we are recruited and onboarded. Okay, so I have had a lot of people call to ask questions. My ward passed, my daughter passed, some stakeholders, and I will explain to them. It's not as if they passed and they are not admitted to teach in smart school. What we did, His Excellency said he wanted the best, and that's what we did. We picked the best. So if you have, and it's in different subject areas, so we have history, people that are majoring in history that applied. Because I know you're looking at our regular school, we had stopped history. But it's there in smart
It's not
school.
compulsory.
Yes, it's now complete. Was we had it in smart school before the federal government pronouncement.
Okay.
So we are ahead,
very
of,
interesting.
yes, we are ahead of it.
You are trying to convince me.
No, you can go and check. So you can go and check. So what we'll do is this: what we did, and we are still doing, is in any subject area we have teachers apply. Okay, history, math, English, all those subjects. So what we'll do, we'll take the best. We'll cut off from the best. So if you can score 70 and you see your result that is 70, and the question will be, I had 70 in the score. Why am I not recruited? Why? No, the issue is that in that your subject area, how many scored 80?
Yes.
Okay? That was how we picked the best, the very best. And they went on training, okay, after the recruitment, before the onboarding.
Okay, very, very interesting.
Yes.
Okay. You know that technology actually without purpose is just like gadgetry. When you say you're doing technology, e-learning, and so the curriculum, how is it being adapted by students so that they're not just computer literate and become what I said, people who are not knowledgeable. Because the truth is, when you allow these guys to use this tablet you're talking about, they now just don't look elsewhere. And they are very important subject matters. When I was in school, I read Student's Companion. I'm sure it was a Student's Companion. Okay? Common mistakes in English. Common errors in English. They are not curriculum based, so they won't be in that tablet. But these are the kind of books that will make a child be different from the rest of the children. Who are these books? Are they in the tablet or in the e-learning? What of novels? Of course, you know, if you're a child and you're not reading novels, hey guy, you might pass mathematics, pass English, but if they ask you one or two questions outside those areas, you become an educated illiterate. So how are we going to ensure that the smart people will ensure that they are knowledge based, not just smart guys?
Okay, not just
because this smart.
Yes.
They can be smart without being knowledgeable.
Yes. Okay, that's a very good question. You see, one beautiful thing His Excellency has done, okay, Governor Peter Ndubisi, is that he ensured in Nigeria, we are focused on 9-year basic, okay, where we have the lower basic, the middle basic, and the higher, or the upper basic. Do you know that in Enugu State we have is 12? How do I say so? It's 12 in Enugu State, 12 basic.
Tell me.
Because in every smart school we have our early child development care education, ECCDE. That is what we call the nursery school. In every smart school. And research has shown that any child that passes through that nursery school come out very excellent in terms of literacy and numeracy, because that is where the foundation is. And that's where we teach civic habits, we teach social habits.
Okay.
Okay? So, to ensure that these children are not just smart,
yes,
they are knowledgeable, ensure that these children go through that from the nursery. That's where we teach the alphabet, the sounds, the phonics. Okay, so we have it in our smart school. So they are not just smart. We are also monitoring the teachers to see they are applying some of those, and we have our readers club. We asked about reading. We have our readers club in our schools. That's one of the first things we established when we assumed office as board members. I know I brought that up.
So they're going to be hybrid between the smart boards, the e-tablet, and the physical book.
Yeah, the physical book. Why the stress on the hard copy? the interest is for the child to read and understand and apply. Whether it's on the hard copy or on the tablet, the target is for the child to understand, to read and understand.
Do you realize
Yes.
that the novels are not just a one novel? There is school they read more than 20 novels
Yeah, it's in the system.
already in the system.
Yes.
You feel the novels.
Yeah, what we do, anyone who wants will digitize, okay, some of those novels. So we are interested in the literacy and the numeracy.
Okay, I'll tell you something that will shock you.
Yeah.
Even abroad, you
Yes.
see children just sitting by the bus stop holding books.
Mm-hmm.
They don't hold tablets.
That's you see.
They don't hold tablets.
the change?
They hold novels.
Yeah, they hold novels. Damn.
No, they still do it now. Go to
You
go
can
to London,
we can combine those. It's not as if we don't have books.
now we are coming.
It's not as if we don't have books.
Yes.
But we also have those things so that if you're not picking it up in the book, the emphasis should not be on the book. If you're not picking up to read it from the book, you can also have it in your tablet, which we have given to the children.
Okay.
So at any point in time, you can access from anywhere.
Sweden
Yes.
was the first country in the world to do an all-tablet education.
But we're not doing an all-tablet
I'm
education.
coming.
Yes.
They emphasize on tablets e-learning. Today they have scrapped it totally, reinvesting on hard copies after several years of trying. So, whatever you are doing, the time is still early. I want to advise that your board and the ministry would do a proper 50-50 hybrid. Hybrid is technology, hybrid is regular books. Because if one has started it all and now abandoning it, now children become addicted to gadgets. So even as give to Caesar what is Caesar's,
Yeah.
and to God. Yeah,
in that addiction. Okay, so I said something about XBMC, School-Based Management Committee. That is the avenue we engage our parents on the children. You see, I don't know whether you have that as a question about sustainability.
Yeah,
okay, I don't know if you have that, but why I'm saying this is that there's an educator research team that was trained, okay, for the smart school. So through that avenue, we get a feedback from the parents. We engage the parents from time to time. So we talked about regimentation. While you're talking about, you asked of addiction.
Yes.
So it's even a way of bringing up a child properly. You regiment the child. There's time for this, there's time for that. So the question of addiction won't arise if your child is well regimented.
Well, I like that. If.
Yes.
If is a
tentative.
two-letter word for
fertility. Yeah, so we enforce that. Let me tell you that if lies is not just about, the education of a child stands on a tripod. The child, the school, and the home. There's one the school will do, there's one the home will do, and there's one the child will do. So if we have it standing, you can see the child that will come out educated and skilled. So that's engagement with the parents. That's where we talk about regimenting their children. We'll tell them the reason they should regiment their children so that we'll have a balanced upbringing.
Okay, you took the words almost from my mouth a couple of hours minutes ago. Monitoring and evaluation and sustainability.
Yes.
It's very, very key because so what are the metrics? What are being done? What are the measures for sustainability of these smart schools? 1 year after, 2 years after, 3 years after, 5 years. It's a good project, but how are we sure it will be properly sustained via monitoring and evaluation? Because even in the construction, see what happened. Not that those things cannot happen, but you see 1 or 2 collapsing. Okay? So we hope none will collapse as soon as I move in now. But sustainability.
You see, I'll be very honest with you. You see, I keep on saying this, and when I say they feel she's campaigning or something, no, it's something I say it's a paragraph, something you can see. His Excellency's application of this leadership is not just for selfish end. It's not just for himself. It's not just for the now. It's for the future. When you talk about sustainability, you see the results of what he's doing now is something you see in future. It's not someone that come out and give you outright or call you and give you bags of money. And this is what we talk about. So when he's building a school, and you know what it takes over time, you know what schools does. You have educated people, you have skilled people from the smart school, what he's doing now. So the sustainability plan we have on ground is the Center for Experiential Learning. His Excellency is built in if you go to College of Education Technical, you see it there. Okay, that center will be taking care of teachers, mandatory professional training for teachers. Okay, that is for the sustainability, because we keep training the teachers and putting them into the smart school. And for the sustainability, he has trained some educator researchers. Okay, from time to time, we will now look at the impact, make improvements based on the gap we're going to see from the result of the research. So we've been training the SBA to the governor on experiential learning, Dr. Mara Huber from Buffalo State University. He came with some people with some professionals with the expertise on experiential learning to train some people on as educator researchers. So they are the ones, they went into the communities, they spoke to the community members, they spoke to the teachers, they engaged the teacher, they engaged the children, and they came out with some results that will and apply for the scaling up of these smart schools. So from time to time, they will go into the communities, they are going to be researching and looking at gaps and where to improve on. So there's plan for sustainability.
Even after
A robust one for that.
Even after the government must have left.
Yes. That's what I'm saying. That Center for Experiential Learning is there. It's not as if they brought in some people and trained them to continue with the teachers' training. He built an institution for that. So there's plan for sustainability.
Okay, again, environmental sustainability is another in terms of power, water. You know, you can maintain a green environment where you don't have water, and then of course power. So, what are the plans in ensuring that?
You see,
especially the schools in very remote areas have access to water and have access to power.
He's ahead of time.
Ahead of time.
He's so knowledgeable. I'm telling you, His Excellency is ahead of time. You see, all this you named. I told you have 65 kVA solar system in every smart school. There's 1 million liters water storage in every smart school, talking about water. Okay? So we have all these things articulated. They are there in the smart school already. So we're not expecting them to go to the stream in the communities to fetch water. There's plan for water already in every smart
I hope
school.
I won't catch any charge.
No, there's nothing like that.
Our camera will catch them.
There's nothing like that.
I
And then we have our,
I
you
hold
didn't talk about our farm.
I hold the accountable.
I'm telling you, you didn't talk about our farm. We have our smart farm in our
Okay,
smart school. That is the green.
Tell us about
That's
this
the
farm.
green we are talking about. There's a farm, a smart farm. There's a greenhouse. So the farm with the children are taught to farm. In that farm, that farmland we have there in the school, because every smart school have a farmland. We have farm provision for that. So the children, they feed the children from the produce of that farm. So we have
They
our
will
school
feed them
meal.
because now the farm is not working.
No, they are working.
They will feed them when they start.
No, they are feeding them already. From the farm. If you go to, I'm telling you,
no, if you go to the one in Aboli,
there's a farm by the side.
Yeah, that will start when the school starts now.
Of course, when the school starts,
the farm
is a meal every day for a child. Okay. You see, when you go there now, if we have picture of the children when they started the school there, the pilots, and then when you see them, you think they are children that live at Lekki, Ikoyi, or GRA in Enugu here.
Or has become a Lekki of some sort now.
Exactly.
Our town is now a Lekki of some sort.
And that is what he wants to have in every political ward, in every community in Enugu State.
Okay, security and insecurity.
Yes.
You know, Doc, some schools are built in far rural areas.
Yes.
Of course, with the control and command center in Enugu, which is a very, very laudable thing the governor has done. We can do a lot of monitoring.
Mm-hmm.
But beyond that, when these schools become operational from Monday, some are located in, when you say ward, you go to places like also one remote places in the Ziaga and Togo. And of course, this issue of security or insecurity will come up. How do we ensure the safety of kids in these smart schools?
Okay, fine. You know, we talked about access to education, access to school. Okay, having those schools there is giving the people there access. Remember, before now, you know, I was education sector of a local government before now. So I was in the local education authority. So I know we have our migrant farmer schools, because the federal government they realized that, realized that when you leave those children to themselves during farm season, their parents move them, so they lose academic active instructional hours when they leave schools to go to farming farm settlements with their parents. So because of that, they established migrant farmer schools. We have it in some areas, even fishery in the south, but in the south it is migrant farmers.
Yeah.
So this is what we have before now. And if you build the smart school in just those areas you're expecting, you will shortchange the other children. Okay, they will be alienated from what we are doing. So there are these schools you see that are located in those places is to give every child in Enugu State access to education. So the security matter you talked about, and now I'm coming there. I know that's what you're waiting for. Yes. I want to tell you the reason for those schools, because some people are asking, why are you locating schools there? Before we had migrant farmer schools, so it's when you have access, children to have access in those remote areas. That's number one. Number two, the security. Number one is that, see, security matter is not what you discussed out there.
Yeah.
But there are measures the government has put in place for that, for our smart schools. So there's synergy between the local governments, the Ministry of Education, and the traditional rulers, and the PG for the security of those smart schools.
Okay, so it's not something, and I must put down.
No. We can't say all. We can't say about. We have. Remember, the schools will be fenced. Okay.
Yes.
And then I think there's a plan to. In fact, we have a robust plan for it.
Okay. Well, I'm actually coming to the end of this conversation, but it cannot be discussed without talking about your board.
Okay.
The functions of your board,
Okay.
how it relates to the smart school, and all that. And finally, after you talk about this, you as a person,
Okay.
Makigo Aja, PhD, as a permanent member of the board, what legacy do you personally want to leave behind in the Enugu educational system? Okay, first of all, your board as a whole, and how it relates to what we're doing.
Okay. Thank you very much. The brief of the board, SUBEB, which is a State Basic Education Board. We have in Enugu State Basic Education Board. Okay, our mother, we have UBEC in the federal, and then SUBEB in the states. So the SUBEB brief is number one, promoting of teaching and learning in our basic education, okay, in the state. Now, number two, we are to recruit teachers. And SUBEB recruits teachers. We train teachers. We're in charge of professional development of teachers, mandatory professional development of teachers. We're also in charge of transfers of teachers. We're also in charge of retirement, promotion of teachers. Okay, so we're in charge of all this for our teachers. Monitoring of projects. Okay, when I mean project, I mean the schools we are building. We monitor, M&E for that. So these are the responsibilities of SUBEB. That is NSUBEB.
Now, my final question is...
So the board members meet. They should meet at least 4 times in a year. There should be board meeting, because we are also in charge of disciplining teachers. Have you seen it? Recruitment, transfer, promotion, discipline of teachers, monitoring of teaching and learning, and promoting it. Okay.
Okay, finally, a very personal question, and that is, as a founding member of the board, what legacy or legacies do you personally want to leave behind in the education system? What is the way did they say, oh, a Dr. Makengo Aja has to do this? Is it a permanent record you want to keep outside even their normal official duties? There's something that is close to your heart Now, this is something we want to leave behind.
Yes. So I want to see every system that will help a child to come out as an educated and a skilled child in place. And what am I trying to talk about? We have guidance and counseling section that we need to activate in our schools. And I'm working tirelessly to see that we have it running, because it's going to help our children, because there are things AI will not replace. Emotions.
Now you come.
Okay? AI cannot replace that. When you talk about guiding a child, the psychology of the child's learning, okay? So the guidance and counseling, I need them recruited, trained, and have in schools. Place them in schools. So we are going to guide the children, not just about subject area, about their emotional aspect of learning and being in school. Okay? So I want to see a situation where a helpline, which I think I introduced that to the board, helpline for the children, where we monitor the result, we look at the results of the children after each exams, and then we look at the trend, because you can't just say a child is not good or good by one particular result. You have to look at the trend and see this child is at the verge of dropping out of school. When we set up that team, we have the team already, but I need it to work the way I desire, in terms of sitting down to look at those results of the children, pick out those children that are at the verge of dropping out, follow up that child, because by establishing the guidance and counseling unit, training them, we will now have it, the desk officers in each local government that we can call. I already have a template for that already, where you put the result of the child, the school, the local government, the teachers, the name of the pupil, the phone number of the teacher, and the phone number of the parent. That's a template I have already for that. So that when you impute all these things, you look at the results of the children, you can now pick out the child that I've actually done that, and I helped a child in Enugu primary school in Enugu here, and a child in fact I made a call to somebody at Osoka. She was surprised when she picked the call. She was like, I introduced myself. He said 419. She turned off the phone. Okay, because
you wasn't expecting that.
Yes, wasn't expecting it, because the phone number of the teacher is in the template. So when I gave out those templates to teachers, they sent in the results. So I was checking through the results when I was trying to train the people working with me in that particular project. We looked at it, and when I picked and called the teacher was like, when I introduced myself, PM3. Nsubel cannot be calling me. Dr. Ego cannot call me. She said 419 and switched off the phone. So what I did was I had to call the education secretary of that local government, that called the head teacher to call this. So I gave them time. When the calls went through, I called and she picked. Good afternoon, ma. I said, no, calm down. I'm asking about this particular child. What is the problem with the child? So what my intention is, when I see some of those, when we see my team, when you see a child like that, you pick the child, the phone number of the teacher, you give to the desk officer in the local government. Okay? The desk officer will reach the school, and then they will invite the parents of that child to know why the child. That's why I said we must not just about, like you said, the smart school, the smart technology, and we must also articulate and ensure that the tripod is balanced, that the parents are, in fact, we have been doing that. There's been robust engagement. There has been an engagement of the parents on some of these things, that the parents are involved in academics of their children. So we invite the parents of the child, okay, and then find out the problem of the child. It could be from the teacher, it could be from the child, it could be from the home, until you go through the investigation, and then you speak to the child privately without hurting the child. Because there's a way they will come to the school, yes, with the parents, and the child will be even the children, other children will taunt the child. So that's why the training has to be there. So this is some of the things I want to see, so that we can help some of these children. Because when they start failing and they start losing interest, they become recalcitrant, yeah, and they drop out of schools. And that's why you have this terror in the community. This is also solving security problem. Because when they drop out of the school, they become recalcitrant, and they go following people. Before you know it, you see the person riding Okada. Once the leg can touch the pedal, before you know it, the child is smoking, is in all kinds of vibes. This is where we start breeding, bad eggs in the communities. So when we have all our children in school, we have all the children that are school age in school, and then we're able to monitor their growth through this counseling that AI cannot replace. Okay, through this engagement, we need our psychologists, we need our social workers, we need our counselors in each of our schools that will follow up on children's academic performance, on children's social, because we are looking at character count. Okay, we are looking at some of those things, and we'll be able to bring these children and beat them in line. Okay, so this is one of the things I want to see. Another thing I want to see extracurriculum activities in our schools, which we have, but part of which is we need, because of what is happening in our society, we need our peace club. We need it established in our schools. We need to teach the children tolerance. We need to teach them how to live with people. We need to teach them mediation and negotiation skills so that they can solve problems among themselves as they grow. Because if you, whether you like it or not, some of the problems that they break in school, some of the problems that start in school escalates to the communities, even to homes. So if we teach them tolerance, even in school, if we teach them, I know it's in civic education, but a club that will handle this in school.
It is scholarly in civic education.
Yes.
In clubs is the scale.
Yes, so that they can practice some of those things, so that we can have some of our teachers, that sponsor teachers, that can be able to propagate some of those things in our schools. We'll have them trained in mediation and negotiation. Okay, it won't cost the government anything much, though. This is something that will help at the long run. You see that these things we are going to establish will help and balance education system in our state. It's not just about learning. There are other things that
character formation
that I am interested in having in place in our schools. Honestly, because I know it will go a long way.
Okay.
Reading club as well.
Yes.
These two things. You see, Peace Club, Readers Club. We have other clubs in there. So these are the things we need to, and don't forget, I talked about this guidance and counseling. We need to build, not just establishing it, you build capacity of the sponsor teachers. It's very, very key, okay, that will be able to man these things and guide these children through all this. It's not just, let's not just put our interest only in the learning and teaching, emotional aspect of their lives.
This is a very good point, Dr. Makegaja, to bring this conversation to an end. And then before we do that, I just want to talk to those who are watching us, to tell them that we would like to hear from them and ask them, what do they think about the smart green schools in Enugu? Will it change the future of education in Enugu State? Or should government first fix existing schools? What are your thoughts? What are your ideas? Share with us on our comment section. Facebook, YouTube, at Freedom Square TV. And so, Makegaja, thank you very much. It's been a very, very entertaining time with you. You know, you spoke from the heart. You spoke from experience and you spoke from knowledge. And that's what we call all-rounded education. Sometimes you produce guys, children who are smart and knowledgeable. You show an example of a smart and knowledgeable lady. Thank you very much for being part of this. Indeed, education is the bedrock of development. So it takes more than smart buildings to raise a smart child. And you've just spoken to that. Not just about that. So to the audience, remember, you can watch this conversation on YouTube at Freedom Square TV. Until then, I want to say bye-bye. Okay, go.
Yes.
We'll invite you again.
Yes, so let's not truncate this process, His Excellency. So we'll have another 4 years. We'll have another 4 years. If you really have the interest of Enugu at heart, the interest of the people of Enugu, this process should not be truncated. So get your PVC, get your voter's card, and ensure that this process is not truncated. Then ensure that all your children of school age are in school. So we want to welcome all our children. I want to use this medium to welcome all our children back to school. We are happy. We're going to be having a very good time training you and then working with our teachers. So bye for now. Thank you.
Bye for now.